Hi, dear friends. Just a preview of what we're going to be talking about this Shabbos Shuvah, Shabbat Shuvah 5784. Imagine you wake up one day and you're living in a post-apocalyptic dystopian future. There is no longer any technology. All there is wasteland, and people are fending for themselves, riding on donkeys and on horses because there's nothing left of the previous technology. You stumble across a ruin, and after a little bit of digging, you pick up a fragment of an old instruction manual of how to operate a piece of technology, whether it's a phone or a stereo. You wouldn't even have any understanding of how to read that piece of literature. It wouldn't make sense to you. And if there was something that you could potentially piece together based on the old English of that time and your interpretation of it, there's a good chance that you would misinterpret it because certain words and phrases would be completely foreign to a person who lives in the far-flung future where there's no technology. And there's a whole body of literature, a lot of it science fiction, which really sort of asks us the question, how do we know that we've been constantly advancing? How do we know that there hasn't been an ancient civilization which perhaps had even greater technology than our own? And as it relates to Judaism, we know that we are always striving to chadesh yameinu kikedem, to return ourselves to days of old, because we know that there was something spiritually more powerful the closer that we were to Mount Sinai and to God. But how do we know that we've successfully carried across whatever we possibly can to the current day? What if certain things that we're interpreting are based upon a lack of common language with the past? What if we don't have it exactly right? And those are the things that I'm going to be trying to speak about. Our thesis, our central thesis of our Shabbos Shuvah drasha, is that at every juncture where corrective measures are taken after a failure of the Jewish people or of individuals, man's behavior has become, in our religion, even more restricted, or man has been called upon to fortify his behavior with additional strictures and stringencies to avoid failure from recurring. This has been going on for thousands of years in our people, and these corrections have always been proper and necessary, but carry with them an occupational hazard, that over the course of centuries and over the course of corrections upon corrections upon corrections, we run the risk of ending up in a place where all we see are the outer layer of Judaism that has constantly been fortified and refortified, but we've lost sight of the original core, where the real fruit of the Torah lies, where our real connection with God lies. In our efforts to make sure that we don't fail again, we sometimes lose the ability to connect with the pure and innocent past, which hasn't been heaped with all the added layers of fortification. And so what we're going to try to be doing over the course of this short period of the Shabbos Shuvah drasha on Shabbos afternoon at 5:50 p.m. is to try to reconstruct what chadesh yameinu kikedem really means, renew our days as of old. What are we trying to get back to? What are we trying to put back together in our lives of the old Judaism? We have a beautiful Judaism of the 21st century. How do we connect it with the inner core of our Torah that we are so yearning for and so yearning to connect to from our past? So we'll try to offer some suggestions, some options, and I hope that you'll be able to join us this Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom, Gemar Chatima Tova, blessings and good health and nachas for the coming year. Have a good Shabbos, dear friends.